my name is Andrea, and today I'm going to share with you what we are using for our family subjects as we follow the Ambleside Online curriculum for the 2nd and the 4th grade. So one of the things that I love about Ambleside Online is that you're really building a family library with the books that you purchase for your school year. You can read forever, truly. And I'm having just as much of a great time and getting just as much of an education as my kids are because I'm reading some of these classic books that I'm enjoying as an adult. So I love that Ambleside Online is really recommending like the books that you should read, then also just giving you as much flexibility and freedom as you want when it comes to some of the other subjects. And some of those other subjects are the ones that we are going to be doing as a family. So they're not necessarily going to be a part of a certain grade curriculum, but we're just going to do it all together. And so I'm going to share that with you here today. With Ambleside Online, there's daily work and there's weekly work. And the daily work would be the things like the math that you're doing or wherever you are in phonics and reading and things like that. And then the things that you do weekly are things like your art and your artist study and geography and music, composer study, all of those things. I'm also going to be lumping into that something that we are going to do every day as a family, which is our Bible reading. I'm not necessarily going to do the Ambleside Online schedule so that I just want all of us to be on the same Bible reading schedule. And so what I am going to do this year, I'm trying this out with my kids since I think that they're older and they can follow along a little better. I have this beautiful book called Be Thou My Vision. And it's just it's basically a 30-day practice in worship. And so it includes daily scripture reading, and that can change every day. In the back, it has an appendix on, okay, well, if it's this day, then do this scripture reading. So even though it's the same 30-day cycle, it's going to feel different because you're going to be doing different scripture readings. It also has all of these different catechism questions in the back that you can ask and talk about. But then it goes through all of these creeds and assurance of pardon and hymns and things like that. So I'm really excited to do that with my kids. I think that will give them kind of almost a history lesson of the church where all these creeds and things like that came from, and it will give them a really good solid foundation. So I'm going to be getting started with this with my kids in the morning, just as a family. Also, another thing that I thought I would try, which I have not dug into this yet because I've only just learned about this, but it's Clues to Holy Writ, which this was a recommendation that Charlotte Mason made when it came to theology. And I grabbed it off of Amazon because it was intriguing to me. And so it's a chronological study of the Bible that would take 3 years. Anyway, it just sounded interesting. And so I thought it might be worth a try. So I'm going to be reading this. I might implement some of these things with my kids as a family. But what we're first going to try is this Be Thou My Vision, and get some of those catechism questions going as a family in the morning, and that should be great. I'm looking forward to that. The next thing that we are going to be doing as a family is art and our artist study, and I'm super psyched about the artist study stuff. Now, on Ambleside Online, you can do all of this for free. You don't actually have to purchase any of these things that I'm going to show you. That's one of the wonderful things about Ambleside Online, is that you can do it on any budget. I love the fact that you could just follow along and do their artist study because you can pull it up on your computer and you don't even have to print anything off. You can just look at the artist and the painting that we're talking about today. But what I did was I ordered these beautiful books these all came from Purple House Press. And oh my gosh, I ordered their pack for the artist study because I was listening to some other mom, and she was really, really highly recommending this because with each artist, they have this book, and it's basically a story about the artist's life, and then a story about how each of these pieces of work came to be. And as you can see, it's just these beautiful, beautiful pictures. But then also what came with it were the prints of what they talk about. And so this is Raphael. These are some high quality prints. Like this is St. George, and it says underneath here where it is, National Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. And I'm flipping through this. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the School of Athens, Vatican, Rome. This is a better print and a better quality print than the print that I got at the Vatican of this painting. So it's wild. It's like they're printed out on heavy paper. It's like I kind of just want to, as we study them, place them around the house. It's gonna look, they're just these so beautiful. Anyway, I cannot stop raving about the quality of the prints and the quality of the books and the stories that go along with each artist. So what I did, I got the set, and so it came with 6 artists. I am first going to start with I think I'm going to start with Raphael, because we have been to Rome and we saw a lot of his paintings. That might be a good place to start. There's an American artist in here that I might save until we're back in the States and then go see his artwork while we're there. So we will probably study maybe 3 in a year. And so this would be 2 years worth of art study and artist study for us as a family. And then when it comes to actually learning art together, we're going to be finishing up this. We've done this drawing textbook this year together and we are loving it, but we're only halfway through. It has been great to just learn some basics of how to draw things. This is my first grader drawing. It's been a really, really good basics course in how to make things look realistic. So we're going to continue doing this. We'll probably finish it and maybe even start it again and practice it some more. And then we'll also be doing watercolors. I got this watercolor for the absolute beginner. This was recommended in the Well-Trained Mind under some of their art study options. And it does I've been looking through this and it starts right at the very beginning, and it even shows you some ways on, perspective and how you can be setting things up, easy drawing for painting. We'll just walk through this together and it will probably take us the better part of a year to get through, but that is fine. And we will just have fun drawing and doing watercolors. I chose these things because I feel like it will be the most beneficial to us as we do our nature studies and our nature journals. I want my kids and I want for myself to have the basics and just how to draw something and how to paint it. So that's why I'm starting with drawing and watercolor, because I'm thinking about how nature study and our nature journaling is going to be a big part of our homeschool life. And so I just thought that would be a good base place to start. That leads me into another thing that we will do as a family this year is our nature study. For their 2nd and 4th grade year, what we have for them is I just got them each a plain journal that they can write in. I wanted something where there's plenty of pages and they were blank and it was a good quality paper. That's why I got this. I also got each of them like a little compass that can clip to their backpack. And basically what we're going to be working on this year is that every time we go out, and I love going on these hikes with my kids, we basically do it a couple of times a week. I want to have the goal of identifying 3 to 5 things while we're out that they can write about in their journal. And so it's really easy if you have an iPhone, to take a picture of it. I don't know what model mine is, but it started with this model that I just recently got. You can take a picture of it, and then if you take a clear picture of a leaf or a flower or a tree, it will pop up on there what it is, like through Google, through like maybe Google Lens or something. There's also an app called, I think it's Picture This. What's the app? Yeah, there's also, if you don't have an iPhone or the latest iPhone, there's an app that does the exact same thing called Picture This. And it will just help you identify what you're looking at. I also have nature study books and things like that, but just like while we're out and about in the moment, it has been a great tool to quickly identify something. And then what's great about that is we'll use the tool to identify 3 to 5 things, and then all along that walk we'll keep pointing out those things. And so I really like to do that. Okay, the next thing that we'll do together as a family is music. We will just follow along with the free composer study that Ambleside Online provides, as well as like their hymns. What we do on our own is learning to play the piano. We do that just from home because we live out in the country. It's really hard to get to different lessons and things. And so I use Master Books Academy for our piano lessons. They're very reasonably priced, really good results. I also got ukuleles for my kids. I have heard that the ukulele is one of the easiest instruments that you can learn how to play. And so Masterbooks had a beginner ukulele class, and it is, because the guitar is actually kind of difficult, I think. My husband has a guitar. It's hard, I think. And the ukulele has 4 strings, and it's super simple. And we've gotten started with some lessons on that. So we'll continue with the ukulele and the piano as a family. It's been really fun. Okay, and then that leads into handicrafts. That's just I'm going to leave that loose and let my kids kind of follow their interests when it comes to those things. My daughter does like to sew little things together. I might teach her a little bit on knitting. I might even teach my son a little bit on knitting this year. I can do basic crochet and basic knitting, and so if they want to learn some of the basic steps, we might try that together. The handicrafts is something that I'm still kind of thinking about on what we might want to do together as a family. But yeah, I'm not really going to order anything for that right now, because I have stuff that we can use around the house to kind of learn some of those skills. So anyway, but we will have some kind of handicraft. Another thing that we will do as a family is Spanish. My kids will do their own Latin because they're at different levels. But what we are doing all together as a family is Spanish. And we use Pimsleur, and it's just audio lessons of Spanish. And why I like Pimsleur is that it's just so user-friendly on being able to speak quickly. Like, we are able to speak to each other in Spanish very quickly when you start on Pimsleur, because it's just auditory based. And so we do that, and we're all kind of like at the different places in Pimsleur. But what we do come back and do all as a family is we read books in Spanish together. We do lessons out of getting started with Spanish together. Sometimes I'll do like just a quick, and when I say that we do a lesson together, I'm talking 10 minutes of a Spanish lesson out of getting started with Spanish or from a book, or I'll just write a few sentences on the whiteboard so that they can translate it out and work on that. And so it is like a family subject, even though we might be at different places with where we are in Pimsleur, but it is something that we do as a family. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I wanted to share. Oh, one last thing. Another thing that we will do as a family is astronomy. Yes, astronomy. I will never not get astronomy and astrology mixed up. So we're doing astronomy. I chose to do this instead of, other types of sciencey stuff because we live in the country and the sky is so beautiful and clear to see. We were just gifted recently a telescope. So it's like the stars are aligning for us to study the sky. And anyway, so we're going through the Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky. It starts at the very beginning. It's assuming you know nothing. So we're going to be walking through this book. Again, this book might take us even a couple of years to get through, but I'm psyched about it, and we're going to be learning about the sky. And then I also got this book that we can just do a little reading together as a family. It's Astronomy, What is a Biblical Perspective? And so I will say The Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky by Dr. Jason Lisle. He is a Christian, and so he has that perspective. And then this also came from Answers in Genesis. So anyway, I just want to give the whole family a good foundation in how to study the stars from a biblical perspective. I will link everything below on anything that I've mentioned here today. I just didn't want to say that after every single thing that I talked about. Like, obviously, you can find all of this stuff below. I'm happy with our choices on our family subjects, and in the upcoming videos, I'll be sharing what my kids are doing independently for the 2nd grade and the 4th grade with using the Ambleside Online curriculum. There are still individual choices that you can make throughout. That's why I like it so much. There's a lot of freedom with it to go with what's going to work out best for your kids. So I'll share that with you coming up. So I hope you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.